Hi there, everybody. This is, of course, the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day, Nick Dutch, back on the camera again one more time for another delightful tarot show. In the tarot show, I do tarot readings. This is the only place where I give free tarot readings to people. And if you want to be included, there's only one thing you've got to do. You got to have a question. Alright, that's it. You got to have a question. You got to email it through to nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. And what we can do with that is I'll add you to the rota, and when I've got, a free show, when there's space for me to fit you in, I'll try and fit you in. No questions about pregnancy, medical matters, childbirth, death. I don't cover those things. There's a few other minor niggly things that I don't feel comfortable reading upon, such as certain forms of complex legal questions I don't feel comfortable with, and so on and so forth. Alright, now we've got a fair quantity of readings out there which have been requested for me to do. Remember the email nickdutchtarot@gmail.com if you want to be included, or you want your reading to be included in the show. Very quickly, a tarot or psychic reading is regarded as being an entertainment service for good common sense reasons. Okay, remember, you're the final decision maker in your life no matter what. So let's get on with the first reading of today. Okay, Remy D, I'm not sure whether I have answered your question or not. In the last show, something about the message looked vaguely familiar. I'm not too sure, but either way, I will answer the bit which I don't think I've answered, and that's about your academic side of things. Let's have a quick look and see basically what's coming on through there to see whether it can happen. Okay. Right, very strong quantity of desire in you to reach a particular goal. I don't see earth signs here. I don't see it being tempered with reason. My message here would be that there may be another way of going around the same thing. And so maybe you need to challenge yourself in terms of what you want to do and what you want to achieve and how you expect to get there. The feeling I'm getting is still you're trying to do everything in a very pure way. That's good. Very high moral standing. I think that's brilliant. But is there another way of achieving the task? Now, if you were to find the other way of achieving the task, you're being portrayed as someone who can have a very good victory there. So essentially it is possible for you to achieve if you were to do the same thing in a different way. So maybe adjust the way in which you perceive the methodology for reaching your goals. Okay. Elaine, I'm going to call you Elaine L, if I may. You've done something that I normally don't like, okay? You've sent me War and Peace. You sent me a real long essay about the whole situation. But I've gone through it, and yeah, you've got yourself a difficult situation, but one which is pretty common. It's common because sometimes we develop the emotions for someone that doesn't necessarily, it doesn't necessarily help us. In what way does it not necessarily help us? Because they don't reciprocate back. They're not doing the right forms of action that we need if we're to be in a relationship with them that's going to work. It's very common, okay? With men, with women, all ages, all types, all classes, all backgrounds, we do this. One of the most powerful means of dealing with the problem is to literally, and I mean literally, morning and night for about 5 minutes. Okay, you get on your knees, you talk to a higher power. If you don't have a higher power, you make one up, and you ask this higher power to remove from you this feeling of connection you've got with this person. Higher powers are very good at removing feelings. If you tell them what it is, tell them everything associated with it, everything connected to it, and so on and so forth. That's probably the best way of allowing you to move on with your life. Because the only thing that's stopping you is your feelings. And your feelings are being a traitor to you, and they're stopping you from achieving the things which you both want and need to in your life at this present point in time. So if you focus your attention on that, that will probably help, and you develop a willingness to allow the negativity to go, and then I think you can make it. Then I think you can make something good happen. Okay, Karim, here we go. As far as your work permit is concerned, you've got to carry on hassling the agency in question. You just got to do it, because that's the way it works. That's the way you get anywhere. when you're dealing with large administrative bodies. And I know that's a real pain and we shouldn't have to do it and everything should just go smoothly, but you're not in that kind of world anymore. Let's have a quick look and see how your financial stability and your relationship life will develop. Just bear with me a second, please. Okay, financial stability side of things looking very good. Okay, you got to carry on fighting. It looks like you're perpetually on edge. Okay, there's lots of hard work to be done. Definitely, as is symbolized by the Three of Coins there, which makes me feel that this is a difficult time for you in some respects. But you've managed to get a basis of stability. You're quite proud of what you managed to achieve. So you just got to carry on being the best you can. Now, romantically speaking, there is a connection here that appears to be doing you some good. It's a very good, very positive feeling. We got the Nine of Cups there, which is it's labeled as happiness. It symbolizes a sense of loving happiness. It's not just a question of being happy. Okay, anyone can be happy when they get themselves a new toy, or they discover a new hobby, or you go for a walk in the countryside. That can give you happiness. But this is happiness within the context of the Suit of Cups. Alright, and I think it's that particular message. I mean, the message of the Nine of Cups can mean different forms of happiness, yes, but taking into account the question, taking into account the symbolism, taking into account what you're trying to achieve here, this appears to be someone you've got some form of familiarity with to a certain degree, who's getting more heavily involved with you on a romantic side of things during the next 3 to 4 months. Which I think is going to make you happy. And I think that bond with that individual may help in other ways. So definitely see how it goes. Alright? And yes, once again, the cat who has a homing instinct for me doing the tarot show has come here for a bit of a cuddle and a bit of love whilst I'm in the middle of filming. I've got lots of inquiries out there, Mr. I. Yeah, I have. Got lots of inquiries out there, and the last thing I want is to be distracted by a big, soft, fluffy, cuddly putty cat. Okay, Kyle, you're interested in the connection between yourself and your girlfriend, your online girlfriend. Let's have a quick look and see that your love is true. Bear with me a second, please. Okay, the energy I've got here is very, very good. I'll quickly show you the cards so you get a bit of a feeling as to what's really, happening here, and we'll take it from there. And the cat's going to lend a hand. So I'm going to have a cat in one hand and the camera in the other. It's going to be interesting. Okay. This is going to look very familiar to you. It is, of course, a standard 8-card relationship reading. Now, I do this particular spread when I'm working over the internet and working over the telephone. I do this kind of spread for you people in the tarot show. 2 for you, 2 for them. Forces between the two of you, defining the emotions and the relationship itself. And a projection short-term, mid-term, and long-term future, okay? Signs on your side of things. Emotionally speaking, you're very anxious about this one. It's understandable. It's a distance relationship. You do need to, at some point, arrange time when you can actually see each other face to face. Why is face to face important? Because that's when the real bond starts. You may have a bond of ideas and got some of the complex stuff out of the way, but on the other hand, there's all the rest of it too, and a real relationship has to be face-to-face anyway. So that's what you've got to work on, because that will take away the sense of anxiety. Strong desire on your side of things. You're obviously very hot for this individual. All the colours there are very hot, very passionate. Sure, okay, that's great. But let's just think about this in terms of practicality. On their side of things, again, we've got the same kind of quality of colour, very fiery, very passionate, but also very moral. So getting the balance right is going to be important with this individual. And yes, that's going to cause some challenges. Alright, once you're face to face and the rest of it, and they've decided to move to you in your country or vice versa, but essentially there's good stuff there. Forces between the two of you, you could not ask for anything better than this. It is, of course, the fantastic Ace of Cups, and that's the loving connection, that's the one heart Valentine kind of like feeling. It is reversed, of course it's reversed. You've got a distance relationship. Distance relationships are no good unless you can turn them into face-to-face relationships, living together relationships, real relationships that can work. Okay, so essentially you've got difficulties here, but you've also got some assets. Yes, I do feel that there is the right emotions there. It's a longing, romantic emotion. Progression, short-term, mid-term, long-term, future, still looking okay. But you've got 2 points here, namely short-term and very long-term, which is going to have some kind of difficulties. I think that's difficulties in terms of how you're organizing the whole relationship. But essentially the forces between in the middle there, which is your mid-term future, that's still looking very good and still looking very loving, which means I think you can make this last longer term as well. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Hi there, Saba G. Let's have a quick look and see what your reading says. Yeah, when someone's moving to another country for work or whatever reasons, it can put strain on the relationship. Okay, that's a fact. You accept that. You accept that there is going to be problems. But what you don't do is you don't worry about it. You just get on with life. All right, and see basically what your life can bring. You keep communication going. You be the grown-up in your relationship. You maintain communication, but you don't do it through negative emotions. If you're feeling emotionally stressed and confused and the rest of it, you then talk to someone like me, and we help you to calm down and get perspective prior to you talking to them. Alright? So when you are on the phone with someone like me, you explain you explain the situation in detail, which means that when you can then move away from the conversation with myself or whoever, and then back into the conversation with your loved one, you don't allow your emotions to muck up the connection. That's one of the most important functions that people like me fulfill. You can let out all your fear and your pain and your anxiety and your worries at us, and not at the person that you love. So for me it's knackering, for you it's great. But let's have a quick look at this as a proper romantic relationship. Alright, good force between the two of you. In this particular case, still maintaining communication. He's going to be willing to do that. Fine, you can sigh a sigh of relief there, because essentially you got the right quality of individual there. They're going through a period of bitterness. I don't think they want to actually move away, but they're still prepared to work hard at the relationship as well as working hard at work. So it's a complex balance. Alright, on your side of things, very strong romantic energy there, but I also feel that sometimes you yourself may get a bit anxious to the point whereby you want to sit tight and allow him to do all the work, when basically you yourself have still got to be a grown-up in the relationship, and that means you've still got to be proactive, you've still got to talk to him, okay? That's one of the things you need to bear in mind as well. But yes, the feeling there is still not too bad. Yes, of course there's anxiety at this time. Of course things are under strain right now. But on the other hand, love, knowledge. That's what you've got there. Love and knowledge. And that's the way it's going to be throughout the rest of your lives together. It's good. So long as you can maintain that. Alright, that is your communication. That is you getting on the telephone, getting on the internet, or using the internet and text message to arrange the best time when you can call, and then to arrange holidays which you can spend together, and so on and so forth. Then yeah, you're okay. If you don't embrace that, then you may be asking for trouble in one form or another, because you've also got to show willing. When you're in a relationship, it's like a tug of war. Okay, on one side of things, you've got one person putting in all the effort, and then sometimes the other person pulls up the slack. But the bottom line is, you still stay in the same field. Okay, Susan, you want me to read on Randy? Okay, let's have a quick look and see what's coming through there. Okay, we'll have a quick look. Now, your inquiry was very detailed. You were concerned about his character and about his nature, but also about, first and foremost, a reconciliation. You want the reconciliation to happen first so you can carry on building the relationship, which makes some sense. As far as all the other aspects of his character is concerned, I think what you've got to do is you've got to assess that with time. Don't give him lots of little tests on the basis that he comes back into your life. Don't give him lots of little tests. But do just observe and make sure that, you say things that he can respond to, and do what people do in a real relationship. But let's see whether we've got that relationship there in the future, first and foremost. Okay. Alright. I'll show you the cards quickly. Right, okay. You may have a bit of a difficult situation here. Not impossible. I mean, the way the reading is describing it, short-term future is all about, as I'm sure you remember from the past, Six of Swords talks about planning and preparation. It's labelled as science, which means that this is a person who's seeing life in a bit of an experimental manner and going through the the passage or path of trying to find out more about life. Okay, on their side of things, I mean, essentially that's what you've got now. That's your short-term future and overlapping with the here and now. So that's why there's a split up. He's thinking, and on his side of things, trying to go through change, battling with his own consciousness and his own values, his own mentality. What was it that brought about the breakup? Was he really the one who was right? I get the feeling that the breakup was very emotionally intense and passionate and angry, and now he's calming down. And then someone's going to say something to him that's going to make him think, oh sugar, I did something wrong there. Alright, energies for the force between the two of you. That's looking very good. Plenty of light in the relationship, plenty of sense of getting somewhere good. That's optimistic. It's optimistic. So this is someone who's thinking about you. Alright? And they're thinking nice things about you and probably nasty things about themselves. Progression, I'm getting confused. Signs on your side of the reading. Alright, there's a lot of things you want to find out about, a lot of things you want to do with this individual to make sure that things can work out according to plan. The energy that the reading is giving me is saying that, again, you're someone who gets anxious, which is understandable. Your anxiety stops you from taking action. It can be difficult, but you need to be able to learn how to have objective conversations with people you're close to. Okay, this is possibly part of your path right now. One of the things you've got to learn. Do I see good things in the future? Yeah, there's no signs of destruction or misery. The only changes we've got there are internal changes for him, but he's looking at his own character in a bad light, so he can start improving himself. You know, we only ever learn properly when we can look at ourselves in the mirror and see like, what a silly bitty we've been, really, okay? Once we can do that, then we can change. That could well be what he's going through right now. So the likelihood of there being some communication, not necessarily at Christmas time, but shortly thereafter, will make a lot of sense to me. And I mean a lot of sense, because there's a sense of, although he's still cautious, although you're still cautious, I mean, that's a problem, isn't it? Okay? Signs of caution further on down the line, you've got to get rid of that and start feeling comfortable with each other. Because when you're cautious about each other, you can't talk. You can't bond. You can't make things work well. And there's always going to be misinterpretations. When there's misinterpretations, misunderstandings, things go bad. I know, I've seen sitcoms. That was a joke, by the way. Okay, I have still seen sitcoms, but that was a joke. I don't spend all my time just learning about life from sitcoms, although they can provide you with moments of inspiration and clarity if you look for them. Anyway, that's my opinion on the subject anyway. I don't watch sitcoms anymore, though. Got too much that kind of studying happening in real life. Tinek, okay, let's have a quick look at your relationship inquiry and see basically what's going on through there between yourself and this individual that you're very close to. Just bear with me a second, please. Okay, still an 8-card relationship reading. Yeah, this is actually looking very positive indeed. On your side of things, looking okay. I mean, those aren't really signs which are like really, really unusual. Signs of change and change for the better, or desire for change for the better. Strong signs of hope and aspiration. Knowledge that there could be some success there because you've had some good feelings about this in the past. So essentially, in that respect, is okay. On their side of things, well, that's also not terribly abnormal. This is an individual who gets more balance and equilibrium from being with you, knows that there is some kind of connection there already, has got passion and drive and love for you, and all which that feels good. And, you know, very stable. Now, I think the sign of stability is, in fact, probably the best thing you've got there. Now, that means you've found a system. You've, like, found your level, okay? And it can be a good level. Projection into the future makes me feel that, yeah, this can work, all right? Now, right now, there's forces getting in the way. There's interference, all right? The Devil card can speak of many different things, but it can also speak about obstacles, which can be the willpower of other individuals, the desires of other situations around you, and how they're having a negative impact upon your life, which can really screw things up for you. But on the other hand, if you've got, you know, very clear, strong moral virtues, and you've got good quantities of love, between the two of you, and you can go for the romantic future, what's the problem? I don't really see a major problem here. It's just not coming through that strong. You can make this work if you can get through your next 3 months. If you can do that, then you're fine. I don't feel this will be too difficult for you. Okay, just very quickly, I've had yet another War and Peace type inquiry. If you want to send an essay to somebody, you can send it to anybody but me. I'm very pressed for time, and I know that you need to talk. You got complex situations. You got 1,000,001 things happening in your life. But if you're going to take up that much of my time, then it better be my paid time, and you have to submit your long inquiries to me via keen.com/nickdutch. Okay. And then I will do it, because essentially I'm not going to take the same quantity of time that I would for a professional commercial quality reading in the tarot show, okay? Because otherwise I would not be dealing with all the rest of the free inquiries which are coming through on the Nick Dutch Tarot email address. Okay, please be practical about that. Sometimes I can be a little lenient, but if you're really, really craving for me to deal with your inquiry, do not send me a whopping great essay. Okay, we have a mystery individual who wants to be known by the name S. Okay, S, let's have a quick look. You submitted your inquiry. Let's see if we can answer that for you. Bear with me a second, please. Still using my very traditional combination of tarot and anything else that comes through. Yes, one of these days we will have a karaoke night to all of my introductions and my little key phrases. Yep, and it's going to be great. The little sort of like bouncing ball going over the words and all the rest of that. And no, you won't. So I'm just joking with you. Right, okay. The distance relationship you're involved with is good. It's not perfect. New work is coming in your existing geographical location, whether that's your state or your city. It's not too far away. New work is coming, yes. So in that respect, the story of the wish card, namely the star card, is going to come true into your life. I believe that it's not too far away. You just got to carry on looking for it, because we've spoken about the Prince of Wands before, haven't we? Okay, you know what it stands for. In this particular case, that kind of energy, that miraculous energy, is important in your life and will actually help you to get where you want to go. But that's to do with the energy of the earth. That's to do with material things that you have worry and concern about in the here and now. Okay? That's not quite to do with the energy of romance. The connection I've got between you and this individual in question is very different. I would say desire for continuity, yes, but also defensiveness. They're going to defend their position and not terribly flexible. They should be flexible to your requirements. Why are you considering the possibility of moving over to see them when they could be considering the possibility of moving over to see you? Alright, that didn't feature into your inquiry to me, which makes me feel that you're thinking that you want to move to them. I don't quite understand the rationale for that. You could move to the neighbouring state or city and settle down there with them. And that's why, again, it's not feeling totally clear. Also, the channels of communication in your relationship is just not like smooth. Right, there's a feeling of imbalance, so that doesn't necessarily feel too positive. But I think you can find a way with this individual, but I don't think you can find a way straight away and like overnight. Now we've got another individual whose initials are SK. Okay, and this person wants to know basically when they're going to get themselves a paying job, and then the financial situation is going to like change for them basically. Very popular question these days, considering the quantity of unemployment there is in the United States of America, and of course here in the United Kingdom and also the European Union. Economic problems left, right and centre. I mean, oh dear, I just hope it's all over by Christmas, really. I mean, that's, it's difficult. Alright, okay. A blend of messages here for you, okay. First and foremost, The Lover's card does not necessarily talk about love, or indeed being in love, or indeed having a lover. It talks about taking a new level of responsibility so you can start to bring about the right goals in your life. Okay, so a message of this is that you're still responsible for making sure you're getting, like, I know, 5 applications done every single day, and not just by the agencies, and not just by the links on the web or by the job agency websites, because they're just portals for people who are working in recruitment consultancies to try and fish for a batch of CVs or resumes. So you want to try and do direct applications when you can. I mean, I've been at a time of life when I was applying for jobs, and I've tried going through the agencies as well, and it could have been a nicer environment, really. It could have been a nicer life, basically. But I think that you've got to carry on keeping the pressure going. Now, basically, what does the rest of the reading say? The rest of the reading says, it feels like it's a bit too much. It feels like you want to give up. Don't. You know deep down inside yourself that there is going to be a long-term goal which you're going to enjoy. Keep with that state of mind. You've found a level of inner tranquility. You move away from it sometimes, but you can get there. Use it when you need to. Your life's in turmoil. Yes, I know it's in turmoil. You know it's in turmoil. But you're not going to focus in on this, nor are you going to think on it. You're going to think about this. You're going to think about peace, tranquility, and harmony. And what you're going to do is you're going to take action to bring about the change that you desire. Alright, so your priorities maintain calm. I mean, in my life, the things that I've got to do to make sure I'm always looking after is the quantity of sleep I'm getting, and also a healthy expression of anger. I know that this is something which I have to do, because this is like this time in my life. I've got to do these things to make sure I keep myself balanced. On your side of things, it's acknowledging, yes, there are big problems around you, but you've got to try and find ways to keep them peaceful. So you've got to use a different type of energy than I've got to use to try and keep yourself calm. And also to carry on doing that sort of like self-motivational, I'm going to carry on getting there. You've got a great quantity of desire inside you. Now, that desire is good, but when you want to achieve something big, and there's something inside you which says, oh, I've got to make it happen, I've got to make it, you can tense yourself up in your shoulders, in your stomach, in your guts. You can be partially in fight state of mind all the time, and that can actually give you too many health problems. Okay, know you've got a goal to reach, but do it relaxed, do it calm, and try and see everything as like a structured job in its own right. So you sit down, you look on the computer, find all your direct applications you want to make, and then you do them one by one by one. You stop, you have a nice cup of tea or you have a sandwich, and you go back to it, okay? And you keep it in this night. See it as a job. Keep that mentality going, rather than, oh, will I get this one? Will I get this one? Or will I get that one? Forget that. Alright, just stop thinking like that. It's not going to help you to be in that state of stress. What will help you is to think, I've got a job to do. And I'm just going to do it. And that's going to provide you with the serenity that you require to achieve what you need to do. I think the time frame that you gave me is very believable. I think you could do it by then. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there for now. Okay, I've got about 3 more remaining on this account for me to go back to, on the basis that we get another show done. Now we've got a few there. I need more. So get your requests in, nickdutchtarot@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to basically add you to the rota. Same as always, a tarot reading is legally regarded as being an entertainment service for good common sense reasons. Keep your requests coming in, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Alright, so have a great day.